All right, guys, welcome back to the third episode of the agency sales series. What we're going to do today is we're going to walk through how to deliver price, temp check, and also how to know what to charge. Okay, so very important video today of actually delivering the price to the prospect, how to know what to charge, what to say, what to do, all those sorts of things we're going to go through in depth today in this training video. All of these techniques, all of these processes I picked up from, closing $2 million worth of deal for Charlie Morgan and, training multiple other agency owners in the last sort of 6 months to, anywhere between 10 and 50K a month using these exact strategies. So I want you guys to take it, run with it, use it. It works really, really well. So let's dive in and we'll just get to it. So basically what we've covered so far is we've covered pitch and discovery, right? So we've just finished the pitch video. In your sales call, you've just finished the pitch. Okay, maybe they've asked some questions and they might ask for the price. We want to hold off a little bit. Now, there are a little bit of different opinions on the temp check, but I just think as a new salesperson, a temp check is really important because what we want to do is gauge how clear and confident the prospect feels on what you've just told them. Surface and solve any hidden doubts or objections and confirm that your solution is aligned with their goals and maintain control of the conversation, tone and direction. So you do your pitch and then before you jump to your price, you want to temp check them, okay? Why this is, non-negotiable in my opinion is because if you skip this step, you risk missing hidden, clarity or value objections that can derail the closing conversation. You miss the opportunity to build more buy-in and you end up negotiating on price instead of clarifying value. Okay, so if you, temp check them well, it promotes a prospect to clearly articulate how they truly feel about your offer. It cuts through surface level politeness and brings out like an honest and direct assessment. Objections come up before, you actually deliver the price. And you get to handle concerns why the prospect is still emotionally neutral, and you can build confidence, which lowers the price resistance later. Now, why all this matters? Because you've just pitched, for 8 minutes, everything you've got, you've shown your best hand. This is your entire thing, your entire service. It's what you have. And if you go straight to price and they don't like what you've just showed them, you're going to have a really hard time closing that deal. Whereas if we break things up, so we do our presentation, we sell our souls, we show them what we've got, and then we stay calm and temp check them and get a score, which is what I'm going to show you guys in a second. We're going to get a score on a scale from 1 to 10. If they give us a 5, we can deal with that before we go to the price. Right? We want to try and deal with all those little things before, because without the price, they should love what you have. There's no money associated with it, nothing. It's just like, this is what I can do for you. And if they're not an 8, 9, or a 10 out of 10, you need to deal with that, right? So if we jump back in, basically the script is, so look, the reason we do these calls is to understand where you're at, where you want to go, and whether we can, actually help you and we're a right fit. Based on this conversation, I believe we are. But the most important thing to me is making sure you feel solid on the process and have absolute clarity on what it is we do and how we can help you specifically. So just to be 100% clear on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being, I don't think this is what I'm looking for, 10, this is exactly what I need, where would you fall on that scale? It's just so important because again, if they give us a 5 and then you go and tell them it's 10K, they're probably not going to buy. But if they say it's a 5 and you ask, well, what's holding you back from being a 9? And they say one specific thing, well, then you can go and handle that thing to build their certainty before you deliver the price. Right? So this is a crucial step, in my opinion, in a sales process, especially if you're new to this. And I'm going to say that probably a lot of you guys are more new to sales and developing your sales journey with these more basic trainings. It's super important. It's just going to give you a safety net, a rock, somewhere where you can fall back on and say, okay, cool. I've temp checked them. They feel pretty confident. Now I can move on. Now, if you want more advanced training on how you can deal with objections at this part of the call, I'm going to put a link in the bio for my low ticket community and also for one-on-one coaching. So if you want to book a call and get the most advanced training, you can. Otherwise, I've got a community. It's $99 a month. It's got coaching calls. It's got course content, everything that you need to take that next step. Okay, but let's get back into this. So now you've gone discovery, pitch, temp check. Now it's time to deliver the price, right? So delivering price. Before we talk about delivering it, we want to talk about monthly retainers versus pitching the full contract upfront. So most agencies sell on a monthly retainer, and that's fine. But I recommend personally pitching the full contracted amount upfront to create leverage in the money conversation. So for example, if you're doing $1,500 a month for 3 months, pitch it as $4,500 upfront. Why this is good? Because it opens the door to flexible payment plans, like two pay, 3 pay, after you understand their budget, right? So it improves cash flow for you, and it kind of gives you more control in the negotiation. Now we're going to get into the next video. We're going to get into this stuff a little bit deeper about how to have the conversation around money, but this needs to be said to set up that next conversation, right? We're going to go into payment plans in the future. So part 2 is how to actually present the price. So the core rules, you need to be clear, concise, and calm. This needs to be the absolute most clear part of your call. So you don't want to screen share, you don't want to do a pricing slide, and you never sell features, you always tie back to the outcomes. So basically, you've done your temp check and you want to transition. So all right, sounds good. We've covered the process, the program, all questions are answered. I guess the next step is to cover the costing structure and how it all works. Sound good? Or you can say investment. I like to say here, all questions answered, because it just kind of like locks that, puts the bow on the gift, and just like lock that box, no more question time, right? So you're going to stay in control. It does give the prospect a sense of autonomy without handing over the control, because they can say, yeah, let's talk about price. And it just kind of like closes that loop on any doubt, right? Unless they bring something else up. So the pricing script. So to work with us, it's an investment of $4,500 for 3 months. That includes pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3, so that we can get you to $50K a month. So that's the costing structure and how everything works. And just stay quiet. Now, if you're an agency, when we talk about ad spend, you've got 2 options. You can include it here, right? So pillar 1, 2, and 3, and an ad spend of $30 per day to get you to XK a month. Or you can include it in your pitch. The clients that I'm working with right now, most of them do it in the pricing section, because in my opinion, the prospect just latches on to the upfront investment, and you guys don't have to talk about ad spend as much, because I feel like ad spend can become a little bit of a shitty conversation, because it's not getting paid to you. You don't have control over it. It can make the investment seem a lot bigger. So we want to try and like chunk it in so they focus on your fee rather than just like the ad spend. So you've got 2 options. So once you deliver it, you just need to shut up, okay, and let them sort of digest. You do not need to justify, just state the price, recap the outcome, and hold the space. If you ever hear a sales trainer say, the next person who speaks after price loses, they're an idiot. That's not true at all. If anything, if you wait and let them speak, you're giving control away. But you do want to let them digest for a few seconds, okay? So part 3, what to do after you deliver the price. So once you've delivered the price using what we just said, you want to let them process for a second, okay? What usually happens next, so in most cases, they're going to say something immediately, right? Typical response is, I need to think about it. Can you send me an email? Sounds good. I just need to chat with my partner, whatever. These are like standard stalls, okay? And we're going to go through how to properly handle them in the next video, which is going to be based on the retie, okay? This is your superpower. But before we go there, if they say nothing, don't get nervous. Don't fill the space with more pitching or justification. Just break the silence naturally by saying, so how do you feel about everything? Why this works is because a feeling-based question rather than a thinking-based question, because buying decisions are emotion first, okay? Yeah, they're pretty much emotion first, right? Like everyone buys with emotion typically. Okay, so at this point of the call, we are transitioning into the emotional phase, right? The close. Okay, so we want to know where their head and heart is at, not like what they're thinking, right? Because if you ask, what do you think? This is going to fast track you to be like, yeah, I don't know. I just need 24 hours to digest it. I'm not sure what I think. Like, let me sleep on it. So asking what you think invites logic, overthinking, and delay. Asking how you feel encourages openness, emotion, and clarity, right? So what we want to avoid, in my opinion, is pricing slides, because it can really make it feel very transactional and just like heavy, like a big fat number on the screen, and it can distract from the emotional buy-in that you just created. Really want to avoid incentive-based pricing. Almost every business owner is going to see through it. 1K off if you buy today tactics create resistance because it feels like you're closing them. And trust is at an all-time low in the agency space. So this might have worked 3 years ago, 5 years ago. I promise you, these guys have been on the calls. They've seen it. They get it. They don't want to fuck with it, right? So you're going to, like, let's just say you have to buy today and I'll take 1K off. If they come back tomorrow and say, I'm only going to do it for the 1K less, you're probably going to take that deal. So you're not going to deliver it correctly. So you aren't, unless you fully commit and you say, okay, fine, you won't let them pay for the smaller amount the next day and you'll lose that deal, go nuts. But like 99% of people will, so I just don't think it helps anyway. Okay, you don't need urgency tricks, right? You just need confidence and clear value. You just need to be good at what you do, which is closing. So last section of this one is how to know what to charge. Okay, so the key principle is price should be based on value that you deliver and ROI to the client that you can realistically expect. So if you don't already have a pricing structure, map out the best and worst case scenarios in terms of outcome for your client. Use that to reverse engineer a price point that makes sense and aim to make ROI obvious and logical. So an example, when I ran my agency like 5 years ago, okay, we charged $1,500 a month with 1,000 ad spend. So I guaranteed 10 paid appointments and I hit that target every single month. I had 3 clients, I think, at the time, and I had 10 like deposited, like appointment was a deposit. So I was taking deposits on the phone, by the way. Okay. So after I'd done it, right? So I worked with IV clinics and mostly the bags sold for about 250 a bag. So my clients would make around 2,500 if I hit my guarantee. I rarely went over it because it was really hard to hit, but I never went under it. So after my fee and ad spend, they were just breaking even, right? So like even if my service was performing as promised, the math didn't really work out. So when you're actually building your pricing structure, don't build your pricing structure off what you think you should based on the videos you've watched. Do the math, like actually think about it. It's like, okay, cool. Like I think I can get this. And obviously you have to, it's a little bit speculative, but like it's better than just guessing. I'm going to do this for them. If I do this, it'll get them this. And then they would probably want to make at least 30%, ideally 50% on top of what they pay you and ad spend. And that's how you pretty much figure out a pricing structure. So yeah, a little bit of a more specific one today, guys. In the next video, we're going to go through the retie, which is post-price structure, logistical objections, and then we'll dive into objection handling in the one after that. So I hope you guys are enjoying this series, okay? I'm enjoying making it. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.